So, did you finish the book?
Yes, and I also finished the last finally, Promise at Dawn.
Oh,
It
neat.
changes quite a bit in the end, actually. I was very impressed.
Yeah, the war part is very different.
Before it's like, yeah, I'm thus the best one in the world, yada 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 yada. Then it's like, oh yeah, I met this person, he horribly died in this way. Oh, and that person, he horribly died in that way.
Yes. Yeah, how many people did he say started the either flight school, like yeah, the flight academy?
Hmm?
Like he said, like how many people did he say that he started or at least finished the flight academy with?
Wasn't it like 300 and something?
Yeah, and he was like, and then there were like five or three left alive, right?
I don't know actually if he ever said how many survived, but always when people are named, it was like, yeah, he died this one. I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah, no, yeah,
And
he
how
was
it was just,
lucky.
and how he was just hammering down, yeah, I'm supposed to be this super great person, but I did jack shit in the war and got medals and shit. Like, because I was the lucky one that survived.
Yep. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just basically imagining his mother always be around. It was quite a tonal shift.
Yeah. Yeah, but I wasn't sure if he was like I wasn't sure if this was made as a story thing or as a my mom was still with me as a ghost thing. I think
I
it's a
think it was more like that his sanity was dripping away, that he literally imagined his mother because he needed something to cope with the garbage reality he was in.
yeah, possible. But I think I'm leaning towards the um like a literary device of showing how his mother like was is always a constant in his life, and even when she's not there, she's still occupying some space in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's also the insanity.
Which
Yeah,
was quite great in the end, actually.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was definitely the best part of the entire book.
I agree. The beginning is there isn't
The
much
beginning is
point in the beginning.
the beginning is just weird because of the time jumps and all. It's just not pleasant, not interesting. It's just
Yeah. No, it's like we don't. I don't give a shit about your life. I mean, it was sad, but like I think he was the wrong. Okay, if this was a story, he was the wrong point of view of the story in the beginning. Like his mother was a lot more interesting, but we didn't get much insight into her because it was all told from his perspective.
I think it's also like life isn't a story. It's not like that interesting all the time. Doesn't have to have a reason all the time. Like with, for example, I was like, yeah, I'm just looking forward to whatever this not bar lady, the friend of the family lady, what her name actually is
And
supposed to be, and then she just says, yeah, and then she was just gone for the remainder of the story, and I was like, okay, I assume it's just like life doesn't make sense all the time. Stuff just happens due to outward reasons.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, also his character isn't that interesting in the beginning. It becomes more complex later on.
I mean, he is a kid.
Yeah, no, yeah, which is yeah, it's fair. Uh, yeah, like compare that to A Thousand Splendid Suns, where like it wasn't written from the perspective of a kid, well, like from the point of view of a kid, but more like from the third person perspective of a kid. If you catch my drift.
I'm not quite sure which one you're talking about. I assume the younger one of the ladies.
I mean, both.
Oh no,
They're
the
both young.
fair. Both were basically kids when they got married to their lovely husband.
Ugh. Yeah. Yeah, like their okay. Also, I think with Miriam in the beginning, I was a lot less interested than with. Oh god, what's the other one's name?
I actually forgot as well.
Yeah, Lila. No, Lila was the daughter. Was her daughter. Fuck.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're looking. So yes, what I found. So I found that story interesting, even though it was also from the like we were following a kid around. But there it was a lot more high stakes and um, I don't know. I guess I like the characters better because like in this book I didn't like the characters.
I mean, high stakes with the Second World War happening in this book is a bit much. But yes, I agree that you cared more for the characters in that one. Way more.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck Romaine.
I mean, it's an autobiography. It's like he survived the war. There's no surprise in that.
Yeah.
He will live. Congratulations.
Let's expose alert.
And Southern Spanish Sun, it wasn't really like, are they going to live? Like, it was a real possibility, and well, one of them did, that they would just die.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was such a good book.
Thousand Suns.
Yes.
Yes. I need to read the Kite Runner. Which one did you like more?
Thousand Splendid Suns,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah. Man, the discussion point was so sad. It was like, I'm depressed. It's like, me too. Yeah. So, do you want to talk more about Promise at Dawn, or do you want to jump into Animal Farm?
I actually don't, as I'm usually totally unprepared, I don't know what else I could say about Promise at Dawn. I mean, we said like it's interesting with the mother that she is basically imaginary around.
Yeah.
How the tone of the story completely shifts.
Yeah, okay, actually, so like last time I mentioned how I think that it's very unreliable and that he paints himself, especially during the World War II era, as a very heroic, like as the sort of hero his mother would want him to become. Um, now that you've actually read it, do you think the same?
I mean, I don't think he painted himself especially heroic. It was just like he even says, "I didn't do anything of value on the entire war. I didn't do anything heroic. I did not deserve like all the medals and stuff." I think he's very explicit around that.
I mean, but like you have
I mean,
the point in the brothel where
yeah, that part.
yeah, and like the constant fighting of just like he would disobey direct orders from his superiors and even sort of like defect to the British side to keep on fighting the war.
Hmm. I mean, okay, with the brothel stuff, most likely that's exaggerated for story
What?
reasons.
24 to 48 hours of fucking isn't exaggerated.
I mean, he didn't actually explicitly say that he was there all the time.
Yeah, no, I think he said
Okay.
like he was there for a night or like a day and a half.
He said that he was there, but he didn't say that he was basically having sex all the time.
I mean, he had to have constantly been paying, so I don't know, 2 hours breaks.
I mean, maybe he paid and I was like, I just want to sleep, leave me alone.
That's
I don't
it.
know.
Like here's a bunch of Franks just moan every once in a while.
Yeah, basically.
Maybe.
I mean, I think he doesn't. I don't think he explicitly said.
No, he does say that he was heroic at that point. Like, okay, he was like the sort of thing he did there isn't sort of thing you would sing about, but he was kind of like comparing himself. But I'll find the point. Was it like
You're
chapter
cutting out
37?
really badly again.
Oh shit. Was it like it was chapter 37, wasn't it?
I will and open it.
No. Oh no. Oops. 36 maybe. Nope. 36 is the duel. Oh wait, oops, no. Yeah, so 36 is already in England. 33 maybe?
Mm.
Yeah, 33. Oh yeah, so it's just at the end. Yeah, so it's like sometimes I would like to sit down and stare at the ceiling, asking myself how I came to be there instead of describing heroic arabesques in the sky of glory. The arabesque I was forced to describe it had nothing heroic about them, and the glory I had acquired in the establishment when my marathon ended was not the kind that leads to burial in the pantheon. So like he says that, but still, it's like he still describes it as glory and like somewhat superhuman. At least, the superhuman part is my take on it. Did you find it?
You said at the end. I'm still not exactly.
No, it's like right at the end of chapter 33.
33.
So the last paragraph.
Oh yeah, he doesn't explicitly say what he does there. It's just like, yeah, I was there for so long in a shady brothel.
He describes it as a marathon. I'm going to take it as having constant sex.
Yeah. Because yes, I would agree. That sounds physically challenging.
Yeah.
To say it like that.
Yeah. And did they have condoms back then?
I
I mean, did he have access to that? That's also different questions. Okay, yeah, there was.
Hmm.
Yeah. How old are condoms?
I mean, history of condoms is like 1500s at some point, at least on Wikipedia.
Yeah, okay, I know that in the past they used pig intestines, so sausages, okay, different sort of type of sausages. But I'm thinking like the modern condoms, the stuff you can mass produce.
Well, invention of latex, so early 1900s.
Oh, there's an animal intestine condom picture. Neat. Ah, there are no pictures. Fuck. Oh well. Okay, so you are less convinced that he painted himself as a heroic figure.
Not in the last final part, no.
Okay, that's
I
fair.
think it's
That's fair.
more like that it's ridiculous what's going on and the stupidity and insanity of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He talks a lot about his
He still
funny monkey
claims
god.
it's. Oh, sorry, say again, sorry.
He talks a lot about his funny monkey god.
Yeah. Just tempting fate. And like it's so weird. Like I don't really buy his whole pacifist angle. I think it's mostly because of how weirdly aristocratic he seems, well, he portrays himself, and how I don't associate the aristocracy with pacifism.
I mean, he has shown often enough that he does not shy away from violence stuff.
Yeah.
That's more like picturing and making a picture of himself.
It's like, yeah, I'm totally a pacifist.
Yeah, that's why I have nightmares of why didn't I bomb this U-boat?
Okay, cool. So you also agree with that was bullshit.
Yeah, Alvin Duelway was like, yeah, I'm just going to shoot the person. I'm trying to not kill him, but I will shoot the person.
Yeah. Okay, so anything else you want to add, or do you want to jump into Animal Farm?
No, I can't think of anything. So there's Animal Farm. It's the kids-friendly fairy tale about cute animals
And murder.
governing themselves very efficiently. And no corruption at all.
No,
And no lies, propaganda.
no. And it's completely not an allegory for the Russian Revolution.
No, not at all.
Okay, so did you actually review some of the Russian Revolution stuff?
I did watch a video about it, but that video I don't think got that far. It was just like, yeah, and then the Russian Revolution happened, and end of the video it didn't get as far as to the rise of Stalin.
Oh, okay. Oh. That's fine. You don't really need. You get a lot of it from this book.
Yeah, Napoleon is Stalin. What a surprise!
Napoleon is Stalin. Snowball is Trotsky.
I actually had to look up who that is.
Who, Trotsky?
Yeah, I forgot him.
Yeah, he was he for the longest time he was considered to be Lenin's right-hand man. Like after Lenin died in
Hmm.
1921, 22, Trotsky was basically assumed to be the one to replace him.
Hmm.
That wasn't the case because Stalin was a crafty motherfucker. And yeah,
Well, if you go by the book, it's more like he was ready to be very violent about it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he was like he also killed a lot of his supporters. So like Stalin was in a thing called the Troika, which is the three. So he was one of three people, and they were essentially helped each other. Like during the power vacuum following Lenin's death, they helped each other. Um, and after Stalin consolidated power, he killed the other two. Actually, okay, did he? He disposed of them in some way. Uh,
I mean, assuming how the book goes, I assume that Trotsky at least survived somehow and died somewhere else.
oh, oops. Okay, apparently Troika is a very general term. Man. Okay, when I learned about it this in history class, Troika was just used to as the name for the three people. Fuck. I can't find it.
Ah, so he just was exiled. Okay.
Yeah, and then assassinated. Yeah, he went to, I think he was assassinated in Mexico. I'm not sure. Yeah, he was exiled. Um, it's funny during. Okay, so Lenin um, had a journal, like a not journal, yeah, journal, and he like and in his journal before his death he wrote that okay, so before Lenin died, Trotsky wasn't a particularly major presence in the party. Like he wasn't a communist, but he wasn't the the top brass.
Hmm.
Um, and even then, Lenin took note of him, and he wrote in his journal that um, people should pay attention to Stalin and make sure that he doesn't pull the shit that he later pulled. And during the party congress following Lenin's death, Stalin proposed a vote for them to not put Lenin's journal as a official document, and um, Trotsky voted yes for that. So in agreement with Stalin, and as a lot of people did. And amongst historians, this is considered to be one of Trotsky's biggest mistakes, because if it was an official position of the party that Stalin is bad news, in most likelihood Stalin wouldn't have ascended to power. So yeah. Also, yeah, Stalin and Trotsky didn't agree on much.
I mean, the book it more sounds like they just disagreed because just so they disagreed, and not really out of actually believing that. For what was the windmill an allegory?
I guess just general progress.
I mean, it had to be. I assumed it would be just a specific project.
nothing I can think of. Yeah, for me, okay. I saw it as the industrialization of Russia, or in this case, of the farm, but it wasn't like I think anything specific.
Yeah, could be that it's just industrialization, yeah. Makes sense, and it was just like, yeah, power for every house, even it makes no sense because it's just a windmill
yeah,
and not a nuclear reactor.
yeah, and then it was used for like the party.
And even that, it was just to grind some corn.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, yes, in the end,
The corn part, I mostly took it as a like as an allegory for Russia, that a lot of the people didn't really benefit from the industrialization. Although, okay, I think Orwell was a bit uh, unfair, because I think post revolution, even far into the future, life in Russia was much better than before. But I think it's more like general human progress, like that everywhere it was better than before.
fair. I mean, early 20th century and 19th century Russia was kind of a problem.
Yeah, they had serfs. And oh boy, do I agree with the notion that the farmer was a shithead.
I mean, of course, I mean, the farmer or the Tsar, which one now?
Nicholas II.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, if you want to dig more into this, and by more I mean a lot more, there's this podcast called Revolutions, and there is a 40-parter about the Russian Revolution, and it's not even finished. Now in episode 40, I don't think we even got to the Russian Revolution proper yet. I think it's in 1906. It's fun. Like yeah, it's a very complex thing that happened.
I mean, what kind of most very important history is not very complicated?
Yeah. Okay, but to be fair, in this podcast, most revolutions, I think that like the longest one that was described was about 18 episodes. Uh, but yeah, but the Russian one, because like as is established, the Russian Revolution, even though it happened in 1914. Like the beginning of it are in the mid 1800s, with the workers' movement and well, Marxism, and like where Marxism emerged. It's cool. I'd recommend it. It's a very
What's it called again?
Revolutions. I can tell you who it's by. Revolutions by.
The history of Rome, Pontai, what?
Shit.
10.41 Doom of National
Yes,
Anger.
Yes. And there's a lot. Okay, no, never mind. So the previous one was 27 episodes.
That thing is not an easy to navigate website.
I use Stitcher mostly. Yeah. You can listen to it on Spotify as well, I think.
So maybe it's slightly easier to see what they all covered. What other revolutions?
Yes. I think
Because
like the
it's
first episode of each series it describes the revolution. Let's see. Episode 1. Nope, never mind.
Revolutions podcast.
You can see. I think it starts with the American Revolution.
The 9th one is. Yeah, that seems to be American. Paris.
Oh no, it's about the English Civil War, I think. No. Oh no, yeah.
It would be really great if you could see what the fuck the topic is of that particular sub-series. Like, great, this is the 10th revolution you cover.
Yeah. Okay, no,
I
the
mean-
first one is about the English Civil War. Yeah, it starts with the Kingdom of Charles Stuart, personal rule, the long, and then the Long Parliament. Yeah, and then the second season is the American Civil War or American Revolution. I think it's the American Revolution. Yeah, and I only listened to the first revolution and then like the most recent one.
I mean, fair, it seems to be quite a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, book.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the big name characters, I assume, are either standing for a group, like the workhorse boxer.
Yeah. Yes.
It was just the working group that tried to do the right thing, but just wasn't smart enough to understand what's going on, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you have the sheep, which are just like people that absorb propaganda.
And reply it, which is the worst part.
Yeah. And then you had thing. A lot of it was really on the nose, like what's his name? Squealer.
Yeah, the propaganda boy.
Hmm?
The propaganda boy, yeah.
Yeah,
Squealer.
yeah. So yeah, it's a very propaganda squealing. What's else? Yeah, the crow being called Moses, which is a stand-in for the church.
Yeah.
Was it?
At first I thought he would be Rasputin, but then I was like, oh nope, this is going in a different direction.
It didn't have a good enough a beard to be Rasputin. Yeah. Yeah, then you have just like then you have like the chicken and all that stuff, which is, I think it's really like I think there's an equivalent for them in Russia. It's more just like a byproduct of having the farm allegory.
I mean, it could be it's just a different kind of workers,
Yeah,
like the chickens, the horses.
yeah, yeah. No, but
Yeah.
like doing within a Russian communist philosophy, there was a big question of whether farmers and factory workers are both the proletariat, or if they're both the proletariat, if they're like the same revolutionary class. So maybe that way.
Why? I mean, because farmers own their land or what?
Yeah, like they're mostly just, yeah, like they have more control over their life. Because a big part of Marx was that workers do not own the means of production.
Hmm. But farmers do.
Kind of. I mean, in Russia, a lot of them were serfs, and only recently did they gain their freedom. So it was a bit complex. I mean, Russia. Um, so in communist thought, there is this whole cyclical nature of revolutions. Of you have like a middle class, and then it overthrows the ruling class, and it becomes a new ruling class. Um, and like proper, okay, not proper. What was considered capitalism back then hasn't reached Russia yet, so there was still the aristocracy, even like the peasant class, and they didn't have the factory owners. Okay, they
Hmm.
did, but not much of it. So there was a lot of thought where they first need to bring in the revolution which happened in Europe, where where the aristocracy was dethroned, and only then they can have a communist revolution. And they saw a lot of the peasantry as a um, like as belonging to like one revolution removed from the communist revolution, and then they had the revolution anyway. It's yeah, it's all very complex and hard.
I mean, it's history.
Yeah.
Like, when is it not hard?
Uh, Middle East history, very simple.
Hmm.
That was
I'm
it.
thinking, what could.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah, everything is fucked. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about world politics instead of the book or what?
I mean, it's hard with this one because it's,
I mean, it's politics pure.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. There isn't like much to talk about it as far as like plot and characters.
it's the Russian Revolution, and
Yeah,
it's criticizing the smart people to not bother doing shit,
yeah,
and that the people that could do stuff are not smart enough to do stuff without the smart people telling them that that's weird.
yeah. That I found a bit weird because it's like a lot. Okay, a lot of the communists in Russia were from the middle class, but you had a lot of cases of the peasantry uh, like becoming educated and then rising to become part of the um, communist establishment.
I mean, I think that would be quite complicated to introduce that in this story.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The whole thing is very streamlined. It's just like 100 pages.
I'm trying to think, did they try something like that with the dogs? I'm not quite sure. What happened to the other dogs that did not turn out to be, or the parents of the dogs that were Napoleon's killer machines?
I don't know.
Not quite sure actually. I think
For
they
me, it was
never got
mostly just
mentioned.
like the KGB equivalent.
Yeah,
Mm.
basically, they were just his secret service. I mean, it's more like remind me a bit more of Hitlerjugend from Germany.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Because it had,
if I'm being honest, I don't know much about Stalin's seizing of the KGB and whatnot. I don't think he did.
me neither.
As far as I remember, he didn't have much to do with it, but it was mostly just he gained power through party politics. And yeah. Yes, so this is. Oh god. Okay, I should. Okay, I'm not going to comment on that because I should read more about this.
Uh,
What did you think about the sheep in the beginning?
in the beginning,
Yeah,
I
like
mean, they were all.
no, like the one specific shape. I forgot what her name was. Like the one that was asking about sugar and the ribbon.
That sounds more like one of the horses.
It wasn't. Oh wait, I'll find her name. The one that disappears at one point.
But that was a horse, wasn't it?
Was it? I thought it was a sheep.
It was one of the three horses. That one that liked the red ribbons and just liked to work for the human. And then ran off to another farmer and could be observed to basically carry, I don't know, something, or
I thought it
pull a
was a
wagon
sheep.
or something.
Yeah. That's possible. Oh, oops. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. Okay, this, yes. Okay, because in Russia was a class of the peasantry which was a lot more well off, um, than the other peasants. And when the revolution came, they were just like, no, we prefer the old system better. And then it died.
Died by running off or died by getting killed?
Yeah, getting killed and never being seen again. Okay, I mean, some of them integrated, some of them not. A lot of them ran away and lived in Europe. Essentially, a lot of
Yeah.
them were Romain Gary's mother. It's like all the aristocracy and higher class.
Fair. Mm. Hoppala.
Now, this book is interesting in um, a lot of popular media, especially American media, was very anti-communist,
Mhm.
and Orwell, he was a socialist. Um, okay, he described himself as a democratic socialist, but well, still socialist. So he
Mhm.
was very much pro the revolution, just anti what happened afterwards. And
I mean, fair.
yeah, I mean, you can see it in the book. He's very sympathetic towards Snowball, and he paints the revolution as a generally good thing. Just
Yeah.
Stalin then comes and fucks it up.
Actually, the part where Stalin basically takes the power was a bit weird for me to read because I was like, why? I mean, yes, they are all stupid, but why is every animal just walking at like, yeah, I definitely work with them, not realizing that A, that most likely it's a lie anyway, and B, everybody before them just got mauled to death. Why are they killing themselves readily? I
Oh,
assume it's,
like in the Confessions.
yeah.
Yeah.
Assume it was like, yeah, the equivalent of them being beforehand tortured and just being like, yeah, I'm going to say anything so they stop hurting me even if I die. But didn't appear like that in the book.
Oh, so for you it was more like it felt a bit too much. Like okay, like it didn't lay the foundation for it to work. Yeah.
I mean, a good like, oh, now the big point happens, and now Stalin grips the power with violence. I mean, I understand that part, but it was like, why are they doing that? Yes, they are stupid, but not that stupid.
The animals.
Wasn't it even pigs that said that out? Yes.
No, I mean, okay. In the beginning, when he first chased Snowball away, there were like the four pigs who wanted to speak out, and then the dog started growling at them.
I think the four pigs also got mauled by them.
That was later.
Yeah, I'm talking about the later part.
Okay. So I thought you were mixing the two.
No.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. It's brainwashing or threats or something.
Maybe I also missed the part where Snowball was actually running around and not just imagination. But it just felt like, yeah, the book wanted to get somewhere, so it just will go there now. Fuck everything else.
I mean, well, are you talking about Snowball being chased away by the dogs at that point?
No, not that part. The part, the confession trial thing,
Yeah, I mean,
where suddenly everybody was like, yeah, of course I worked together with Snowball, and then got mauled for it. And they all said it in turns.
yeah, I mean that's when the allegory comes in because the same thing happened in Russia, where allegedly, like with bogus claims, like people just like stood forward and confessed to some heinous crimes.
What?
I mean, okay, but in that case, it was mostly under threat of just like don't if you don't do this, we will send your entire family to the gulag and whatnot. Yes, it was a lot of political theater.
Oh, okay, like that.
Yeah.
I don't think that came off that way in the book, though.
Yeah. I take your word for it because it's hard for me to separate it like the book and the reality. Okay, so what exactly is come off for you in the book?
I mean, it came off just as them being all idiots.
Uh,
They were not described as being particularly afraid. They just walked ahead and basically made sure they get murdered. Again, I assumed it was like, oh, if it would be for real life, it would be under threat and stuff, but there are no threats now going on. At least there are not even allured ones. Or I just missed it all.
no, I think yeah, I can see that. I guess that if he was to dedicate a few sentences or a paragraph to saying that, oh yeah, like Napoleon threatened them, or like they had spouses and whatnot.
Or like side sentences like that they looked weirdly worried or something. It's not a lot that would have been needed.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and it wouldn't have made that particular part much longer.
Oh well.
I mean, it's now it's in the free domain. You can make those changes yourself and publish it.
Nobody wants to see me try to write stories. Believe me, I'm not good with stories.
Do it. Use the German translation. Actually, I think the German translation might not have free copyright.
Most likely, yeah. German copyright can be weird with literature.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I think that like translations are considered a separate piece from the original.
Hmm.
I mean, because it takes a lot of work to translate something, and it has
Of course.
artistry to it. Don't know. Oh, it's stupid.
Oh, it's a great book. I'm not going to say anything else.
Yeah. What do you think about people who see this book as anti-communist, like anti-Russia in general?
There's nothing directly about Russia, though. Yes, it's literally the Russian Revolution, what the fuck went wrong. But it's not like, oh, those stupid Russians.
Yeah.
It's even explicitly placed in England.
Yeah. No, because I've encountered people that use this book and 1984 as a refutation of socialism. It's just like, go see where socialism leads you.
I mean, even that, it's not even like that the revolution was a bad idea. It's just that it derailed completely.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's not like Trotsky or Snowfall, like whatever his name was.
Snowball.
I forgot his name. Snowflake
That's
was portrayed in a particularly good light. His dreams were questionable as well.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
only thing is, like, he didn't kill people like Napoleon did. Otherwise, he wasn't much better. Except he had literally the people's goodwill at heart, but he just didn't know better. I mean, the book was explicit, like, that he get all these ideas of the plant was from basically beginner's books.
Yeah. And how he didn't speak against the pigs getting the apples and the milk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like pro animals, but like he wasn't pro equality. It was a bit hypocritical.
No. Yep.
Yay! Anything else you want to add?
Don't know anything else to add, to be honest.
Yeah. Next time we're talking about the crazy Japanese guy.
Yay.
Yeah.
I hope I get the book in time. I forgot to order it because I literally forgot it.
Wait, when did you order it?
Let's not talk about that.
Okay, cool. I mean, the book is pretty
Yesterday.
short, so you can. Oh, okay, maybe not. You can read it in an afternoon, I think.
I will try.
Yeah, I mean, it's short, so it shouldn't be too big an issue.
I mean, in my